podcast hosts Gabe and Leo discuss topics that directly and indirectly affect the LGBTQ plus community. Their generation gap has them seeing the world through very different points of view. They fight, they argue, they laugh, and they get off topic. But they make sense. Most of the time. Are you ready for this episode of Let's Talk Trans? Well, let's get started. Hey, thank you for joining me. This is Gabriel, and welcome to this episode of Let's Talk Trans. I know we skipped Wednesday. I do apologize. My oldest, Kai, was in the hospital, not doing too hot. Autoimmune disease is kind of kicking her butt. So we had to take the night off and do some family stuff. So, but I did get on with with Coach Ty that I talked to you guys about and told you that, you know, we were going to find that fitness guy that I knew and or knew of, and he sat down with us for an interview. So for those of you who are going to listen to this for the first time and who may not have heard us from an episode before, we were talking about fitness and weight management as far as transgenders go. I apologize, I'm like hiccuping and burping all at the same time. It's kind of gross. It's weird. But, you know, we were talking about fitness and weight management and the difficulty with hormone because it does play a factor. And I wanted to get a professional's opinion on it. And so we went to none other than Coach Ty, who is a transgender business owner and runs his own business and does multiple Facebook groups, including female to male fitness tricks and tips, fitness tips and tricks. And I'm just gonna stop there before I blur it. So I'm gonna play you guys the interview, and I hope you enjoy it as much as we enjoyed putting it together for you. So thank you. Here you go. Thank you, for coming on. I'll call you Coach Ty from now on.
It's okay.
That's what it says on there. So.
Oh yeah.
Ty is joining us on Zoom, and he, we did some questions earlier in the week, and I sent them off, and now he's gonna entertain us with his words of wisdom on fitness and you know how it is as a transgender individual, you know, going in through fitness and some of the differences. So Ty, thank you again for joining us tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, like I said, you know, this was a hot topic. I mean, a lot of people are interested in maintaining their fitness, whether they're transgender or not. And and so it was one of those questions, and a lot of people respond and kind of really eager to see, you know, what you have to say about it. So
awesome.
Yeah, I'm peaked. So we're just gonna get right into the questions. So
let's do it.
How did you get into fitness?
So I'll give you the long story.
Cool.
When I went to college, so growing up, I was overweight, and I didn't really know it. I didn't have any like body awareness until probably like senior year of high school. When I broke up with my first girlfriend, I was upset, and I didn't know that I had stopped eating as much. And I was in marching band, little band geek. I played the drums, and I dropped a ton of weight, like probably 60 pounds in 2 months, and without noticing it. My clothes were falling off of me. My mom, you know, took me to the store and said that I needed new clothes. Like not even my belt would hold my pants anymore. I know. I even had to get refitted for my bib pants in marching band. It was crazy. But that's when I really realized, like, wow, I was not aware of my body at all. So I became very self-conscious. And then, you know, add in being, you know, transgender on top of that. But I mean, I was kind of aware of it then, but it was like kind of at the back of the mind thing. I didn't have like quite a word to put on, you know. So fast forward to college, there was a gym there, which I didn't have access to, and I started using it, and I realized, you know, I really liked it. It helped. I have anxiety and ADHD, So it really helped, me control my symptoms because I wasn't treated or medicated then. And I was a psychology major, so I've always known that I want to help people. And I thought psychology and being a therapist was my path until I learned that in abnormal psych, my professor said a lot of your clients aren't going to want to change, and they're going to lie to your face, and you can't ever be sure if they've ever made the mental progress they tell you. And that was very discouraging to me. And I kind of realized at the same time, like, well, in fitness, for me, my mind changed and my mental health improved when I started to work out. And that I kind of made the link between like mental health and physical change. So I changed my major to exercise science, and the rest was history.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm a soda addict in the worst way. And I've gone through bariatric surgery, and I've done, everything and anything. And I always find excuses for what I classify as a self-destructive behavior because I constantly go back to it. And you're absolutely right on the psychology level. Yeah. And I've had like child psych as a teacher. I've had child psych and I dabbled in abnormal psych because I thought it was cool. But yeah, I mean, like it's insane how much people go back to those self-destructive behaviors, even though they're aware that, when they work out or even when they stop the junk food or the processed foods, how much better they feel.
Yeah, it's crazy,
right? You kind of would think that, hey, if I feel better, then that's what I want to do, but we don't. We tend to self-destruct.
You would think. Excuse me.
No, I do it all the time. I'm constantly sipping water during these.
It's that season.
Yeah, especially if you're allergic to something.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
So let's see. So I just say, what made you want to inspire other people to be fit? But it sounds like you've had this passion for a long time.
Yeah. I've always been a person who likes to help people. So and do you do anything outside of like outside of fitness? I mean, like, do you do other things that help people? I
think like volunteering in groups or volunteering at SPCA or anything like that.
I always want to, but I don't. It's probably my anxiety that holds me back from like going out and trying something new. You know what I mean? I
do.
Yeah.
No, all right. So give us your greatest success story.
I have a lot of them actually, but
that's cool.
I have a member who was we'll say in the 300 mark.
Okay.
She would, and this was back when I had a physical gym before COVID. She would come into the gym very sporadically, 3 months at a time, and then she'd go MIA, and then probably just get tired of herself again, and the same cycle would repeat for probably 3 years. And then, like, over the pandemic, she kind of got inspired to really dig deep and like make the changes and do the mental work and really commit herself. So she lost over 100 pounds within, I'd say, the year.
Wow.
Yeah. And actually became a personal trainer herself afterwards.
Oh, see, there you go. That's
a double success story, right?
Yeah. And that, I mean, like, that does kind of lend itself to that whole, like things that you do outside, because clearly that's the ripple effect, that we all hope for, is our actions affect other people to act.
Yeah. So I say I kind of use fitness as like a doorway to helping people with their mental health, I would say.
I can see that.
Like mindset work.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not a therapist, so if they really are in need of a professional, I always recommend I refer them to a professional, but within the realms that I know that I can handle within my scope, you know,
Yeah. Yeah,
it's a
absolutely.
huge component of change.
Um, so then I assume, I mean, with as many success stories, there's always a couple of those hurdles that, we wish we would have done something differently with, or gosh, I wonder what happened to that person, or,
Mm,
cases where we've tried everything and just not
yeah,
able to really, yeah,
you can't save them all.
right. And I know how hard that is. Because we do. I mean, like as a teacher and you as a coach, we want to save them all because,
Yeah, of
yeah.
course. Yeah,
Um,
it's our job to see their potential and help them realize it.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Um,
Hmm.
so then, yeah, what are some of the biggest hurdles people who are trying to lose weight have to overcome?
Their mindset.
Okay. That's
Their,
the biggest one?
yeah, it's really all mental. It truly is. Like, it's the way that you think about yourself, the way that
Mm-hmm.
you talk about yourself, the way that you develop your habits, your ability to break out of your comfort zone and exchange bad habits with good habits. It's, yeah, it's
Yeah.
making time for yourself. And
I say you don't buy into the whole, well, my parents were big, so I'm going to be big.
no,
Okay.
I mean, some of it, sure. Like, I'm I'm not 100% on like the genetics of things, but I'm sure that you could be genetically predisposed to be a a higher weight than people your same height. Um, and I where I get torn is the difference between nature versus nurture, and I know that both components play a role in being overweight,
Mm-hmm.
especially if your parents were overweight.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Um, I come from a family where my father was a twig, my mother not so much.
Yeah.
And as a child, I was more like my father, but I played sports. I was a swimmer,
Mhm.
played softball, soccer. As I grew up and kind of went away from the sports, I became more like my mom. So does that mean it's a genetic predisposition? No, I got lazy. And I know I did. That's not to imply that my mother's lazy. Oh, if she ever heard this. Oh.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
But yeah, it's like kind of like it's there, and we have to try and fight it off as much as we can. And I mean, you
Yeah.
still have to be active. You can't be a sedentary individual and go, well, how come I'm not? How come I'm not built like a supermodel?
Right. Yeah. You got to put the work in. Um, and you have to undo the habits that you learned that were modeled to you in growing up.
Yeah, yeah. But then and then again, I think it's a little DNA. Like I have two different children here in this house.
Yeah.
One who has bigger parents, and then my younger one who has a big parent, and a little parent.
Mm-hmm.
My youngest lives off macaroni and cheese and soda,
Yeah.
and he's 108 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah.
My other one lives off of salad, and she's 160 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, it's one of those things. But and let me tell you, neither one of them are inactive people. They're just, it's
Yeah.
something in their genetics. One has a higher metabolism than the other.
Mm-hmm.
And someday that macaroni and cheese is going to catch up to him. I know it is. I'm just
It
waiting
is.
for it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
waiting for that day.
My brother, he's 8 years older than me. He would always make fun of me for being overweight, and
Mm-hmm.
he could eat whatever he wanted, and he was, slim and fit looking with doing like minimal activity. Um, and then the roles were reversed when I was, in college. Like he started gaining weight, and all of his like eating whatever he wanted caught up to him.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And you
Yeah,
kind of want to, thumb your nose at them for a little bit, but in the same breath, you're
yeah,
going to go, okay, now you need to, now you feel what I'm feeling. Now let's do this. Yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Right. Do you think, so